Hello folks, this is Greg Rader at Slab City Organics. Today I would like to talk a little bit about creek management. And this is a French creek, runs through Sherman, New York, goes all the way to the Mississippi. You can see that tree right there has been leaning. You see how those branches go downwards? Well, branches grow up in the air, not down, and that tree is probably leaning a good 3 to 4 foot. Because that tree is going to tip over, and then that whole thing will be on the bank and in the creek. So what I'd like to do is take that branch that's going over the water there and get the weight off that and cut that right off. And then that'll stabilize that tree, and then eventually when it does tip over, it'll tip the other way. You can see where it's all dammed up down there. And then you can see how it's been washing them banks out over here in the last 5 years. It's really gotten to where it's working that bank. And you can also see right in through here where the water goes up and washes this bank out. Well, this is another site that needs to be improved, and within 5 years it's washed all that out in there, because it used to be straight across here. And you can see how high the water gets up with all that dead debris over there. That's how much it backs up. And then a couple times we've come in here and dragged some material out here to open this up. But eventually the pressure from the water just blows that thing right out, and the beavers have been working on it, and they've been trying to get this dammed off. You know, it's really destructive to the stream. It's another picture of the other side of the creek here where this has been completely blocked off. When it floods down here, and the reason why it floods is it's blocked up over there, and the water literally gets this high. I've seen it on the back side of my house, and I have some pictures where the water is halfway up that bank. Zach's going to take now over here in the last couple years, he's been washing all this out. It's undermining this tree. And that's the next thing that's going to go probably within a year or two, and that tree is going to come down. And the creek's starting to move that direction. And this whole thing has been like this for I'd say almost 3 years. And I can't seem to get anybody here that will work with me try to take care of this issue. And there's a couple more issues downstream a little ways that I would like somebody to look at, but this is just one of 3 or 4 issues that I have on this creek bed right here. It's a disgrace. As you can see, the water's coming around here, and eventually it's going to take all this out and endanger that tree. It's going to take that tree out. But if we can come over on this side and bring this bank back a little bit, take that material out of there that wasn't there about 15 years ago, and manage that, we can help this not erode so quick and do some pre-maintenance here. This is a tree that was in this creek, went in here, caved in about 2014, 2015. I wanted to pull it out with my big dozer. Couldn't do that without a special use permit, so I said the heck with it. And since that, it made this whole bank all along there erode. But it's something that didn't have to be done. It took me about half hour to pull that tree out back in 2014, 2015. Then you can see the effect it has all downstream. And then again, all these gravel bars right here, it's just a real mismanagement. You guys notice this creek, the water's coming in here. It's heading in 2 different directions. This is going this way. You tell it right there. That's going that way. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like this. Creek running both 2 different directions. This is another situation that we have down behind our property, and I would consider this navigable waters. But if we're worried about muddying up the waters, this certainly muddies up the waters. This is just another mismanagement, and it doesn't have to be this way. Again, this could have been all prevented, or at least slowed down. We would have cut this tree off, cleaned these creeks up. This stuff doesn't have to happen as often as it does. all kinds of big trees down through here. And we used to tap these trees, and there was probably 6, 7 trees that existed down through here. And this creek has taken all those trees, and you can see some of them are still laying in there. You guys can see year after year how much this is all eroded out of here just because of that. Not just because, but that tree had a lot to do with it. This is an aerial photograph of 2004 prior to the tree going down, and you can notice how thin the creek was at that time. And around the bend you can notice also there was a few trees that were down, but the creek was pretty thin on that corner there. This is another aerial photograph of 2014, and you can see where the tree went down, and prior to that you can see how it all started eroding the banks. You also can see on the corner where there's creek gravel, and how the creek is working outward, and it's going to put more pressure on the other side and start eroding that bank as well. The yellow lines represent the aerial photograph from 2004, and you can see how much the creek has changed. This is another aerial photograph taken in 2016, and you can see how much that bank has eroded where that tree has gone down. You also can see the creek's a lot wider and how it's accelerated as far as erosion goes. You would have never seen all this happen, and it's affected everything downstream.
This is the first video of a series of videos that we're going to be making on French Creek regarding stream maintenance. Stay tuned and we'll be uploading more videos shortly. Thanks again for watching, and if you like what you saw, please give us a thumbs up, and we'd like to see your comments below.